everyone. Welcome to the Book Over, a little book club where we talk about books, especially the ones that give us book hangovers. I'm Sarah, and with me is Megan.
Hey.
And today we are talking about Dark Fae by Caroline and Susanne. Caroline
Peckham and Susanne Valenti.
There you go.
They are the Twisted Sisters.
Yes, I always just think of them by their first names. And so when I think of their last names, I'm like, I don't remember which last name goes to who.
I'm just so used to like tagging them in stuff because I've been like bookstagramming. I'm such huge fan that I got their names memorized now. But yeah, it's like Caroline and Susanne. It's just, It's literally referred to as the sisters.
Yes.
If you say the sisters in the indie book world, people know who you're talking about.
Exactly. And I'm excited because we have decided to follow. It's not really following, I guess. Read through from Dark Fae. I always just call it Dark Fae, like the series. I'm calling it Dark Fae, but it's the Ruthless
Boys of the Zodiac. I think Dark Fae is just a little. It's not as long. It's just. I think a lot of people just call it Dark Fae.
Yeah.
But yeah, the whole Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac, and Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac kind of makes it seem like it's like a bully romance, and it's not. Which I think, and because Zodiac Academy is like bully romance.
Oh yeah, Zodiac Academy is definitely and I haven't. Megan has read it all. I read
it all.
She's read it all, and I am catching up to Megan. So we're gonna do the Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac, and then after this, we will move on to the Zodiac Academy because I am not that very far into it, so it will be easy for me to continue read. So we'll have a newbie and then I don't want to call you an OB.
Hey, a vet. Let's just call me a vet. A veteran.
Yes, a vet.
OG vet. I'd like to say that I was on this train before this train left the station and got as popular as the Hogwarts train. They've really blown up these series, which I'm excited for. Glad that the world has gotten to know how great they are.
Yes,
and I'm so excited that you're finally reading Dark Fae.
It sucked me in. I was in such a book slump. I was like, I was even trying to reread books I knew I liked, and I couldn't get past like a few pages. And I'm like, this is just. I'm like, either I didn't know what I liked back then, or what. Like, so I was like, Megan wants me to read this. Just try it. I got the sample because I wasn't ready to fully commit, and within like 2 or 3 pages, I was like, never mind, get rid of the sample, just move on to the thing. And I was just and I'm still hooked. I'm not far.
It won't ever stop.
It's so well. The mystery. Okay, so spoiler alert, we're talking about the book. So the whole book evolves around
book 1. We're talking about just book 1.
But yes, we'll only talk about book 1.
If you have not read the other ones, this is this is for you.
It's okay. Yes. Okay. So the book starts off basically. We have Elise, and her brother died, Gareth. And so she is going to the academy that he attended to figure out what happened and to find his killer and seek her revenge out. So that's just like the beginning of her torturing another, I think was he a vampire? No, werewolf.
He was some fan Killblaze.
Yeah, he was something on Killblaze, which is like the dangerous drug that's really addictive that everybody's on. And it, just from that, the start of it. But what I'm loving the most, and we can get into the story in a second, or the guys, I don't know how much we're gonna do here, but is it's so well written with Gareth's point of views. So like you'll have
the flashbacks,
and it'll be like, okay, this many months before the meteor shower that was the night he died. So it'll be like, and it's just like we're learning things that she doesn't know yet. Things that he's practically he's trying to protect her from having to be pretty much owned by the strip club owner that their mom works for, because mom's in debt. So like he's trying to find ways to earn money to pay that debt off, so Elise doesn't have to work there, and to protect her from knowing that her mom was willing to basically let that happen.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, what a great big brother. Like, you know, like it was just like,
yeah, they had a tough childhood and he cares about his sister. They're so close.
that's so
That's
close.
why she wants revenge. I mean, she wants to find out what happened to her brother, and she knows her biggest lead is these that it was they used the word king, and so she thinks they're the kings of the school. So those are her main suspects. That
The
just so happen
kings.
to be our guys.
Our guys. Okay, so the first king she meets right off the bat, who is Leon the lion.
Let me tell you just really quick. My like thoughts on Leon have, from the moment I met him, I was like, he's laid back guy, whatever. I love freaking Leon. Like, I just love him.
Every time
like,
I
it was
laugh,
so different.
He makes me smile. I can see how she can be drawn to him because he has that easygoing vibe to him. He's so laid back. Like I can just picture the cat attitude.
His charisma
The
and
charisma.
attitude. Like, yeah.
I loved it. And I was like, I wasn't sure of like
his order.
I wasn't picturing him as like one of the guys that like I didn't see him as top guy. It's just not like he's just not the book boyfriend type that I would go for, but I can see how Elise likes him so much because he's so lighthearted. But I love his growls and I love his vicious. Like we get I think that's two.
Is that book two the pawn shop scene?
The pawn shop. Okay, so book two, you get some viciousness of him, which I actually love because you see,
you see his other side.
But okay, sorry everybody. We'll go back to book one.
Leon is not. I have the same thing. You think he's laid back, but he is a lion. You know, in the wild, think about lions. They're like stunning. They're laid back, but they're vicious.
Yeah.
So I thought the same thing as you, Sarah. Like, oh, he's not my traditional. And I loved, Ryder's my type of guy, and I'm very devoted to Ryder. He was my favorite, but I think Leon might be my favorite, and he's just so good. Oh my god!
What's a life without Leon? What's life without him? Because he's so funny, and then like his pranks are funny. The way he thinks, his inner thoughts are hilarious. And then the Mindy, how like he's just like, I'm just gonna, that makes it easier, and they're okay with it, and like I'm just.
And they just do everything before.
Yeah, I have one of my Mindys doing this, and the other Mindy helped me get dressed, and like it's just like okay. And I love how Elise is like serious, but there's a flashback of Gareth with Leon. So Gareth is like making friends with all the kings, and we'll go over who all the kings are, but. And there's a flashback of like, and then like with Leon, he's like, don't you want to work for it with the girls and stuff? Like it's so much better. And then like Leon's like starting to get that with Elise, and he wants to, like he got her and he did something else. And he's like, see, like I'm working, I'm trying. And it's like, to me, him trying
for the best of his abilities.
It's just amazing. And I think that's just, I love that he's trying. It's just I love Leon. Okay.
And I always wonder, I'm like, what, like I'm gonna say it in a way that's just for book one, but I remember thinking of book one, I wonder what Gareth would think of Leon like being into his sister, because like I feel like Leon was his friend. Gareth's like friend there was Leon. He had interactions with all the kings, but Leon was his friend.
Well, yeah, and it started from the start where Leon's like, you want me on the pitball team, and then
Leon and Pitball is amazing.
Yeah, and they became friends, and I know Gareth felt horrible for like he stole a precious stone from him to pawn, and I know he felt really bad for it, but he's like, I have no other ways. And there's so many times where I'm like, gosh, I wonder if he would have just said something to Leon, if Leon would have, because Lion's loyalty, like I wonder if he would have been like, hey, I'll help you if you scratch my back a little bit with this or something, so I'm just curious on how that as the books go, if we continue getting Gareth's flashbacks, how that's gonna all work out, because we're not there, we haven't seen okay. So then we also meet Gabriel, and there's Ryder, and there's Dante.
So Dante's her roommate, one of her roommates.
Dante and Gabriel are roommates with her.
Oh, Gabriel too. Oh my gosh. Gabriel is her roommate, and they don't like each other. Gabriel doesn't like anybody.
Yeah. Yeah. Gabriel. Well, okay. So we have a rough start with Gabriel because, like, yeah, he's like, I remember when Dante's pissed at him because, like, he made his his wings brush his like little curtain on his bunk bed, and like, and the stuff like snarkiness between the two of them is wonderful. And then
it's hilarious. Yeah.
But then Dante gets really pissed off at Elise, and then like Gabriel feels the need to save her from falling to her death, basically. And he does, and then they end up having sex. And it's like this most amazing connection they've ever felt, and da 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 da. Sorry, I'm like totally like breezing over it. And like Gabriel's like, this is great, and his tattoos light up, and because he has the gift of sight as well.
Yeah, the vision, yeah.
And then he says that they're what did he call it? I always say I call it Elysian.
Elysian mate.
There you go. And like, but then he's like, absolutely not. So he's trying to fight that fate, and he's being a dick to her. But then he's not. He's so whiplashy, and she's so over him because he'll be so mean, and then he'll be so like, I'm saving you, and then he'll be mean again, and she's like, fuck.
Well, what do we know about Gabriel?
So we know that he's a heartbreak. We know that he's adopted. We know that somebody's after him, and he has.
Okay, yeah.
We know that he's like running, and he has different identities.
Protective. We know,
yeah.
Yes, it's all he's ever known is running. So I think he's trying to be protective in some kind of terrible way.
Right? He's very closed off, and I think so. I'm wondering what's going to happen to make him open up. Because there's also
journey for him.
The fact that Gareth found out about his fake IDs and is like blackmailing him, and so what comes to because all four of the kings allude to the night that Gareth dies of like, that was my fault, or I should have done better. And so I'm like, what? I want to know what book we find out of what really happened that night. Megan's like, I know, but I want to know because it's killing me not knowing, because I honestly don't think any of the four actually had anything to do with it. And originally I was thinking Cindy Lou, because I don't trust her at all because of her like Cindy Pooh. And I love that, like, Elise from the start, like she would like be nasty to Elise and then act like she was crying, and everyone was like, why are you treating her that way and stuff? And I'm like, so that's why I don't trust her. But also I think there's some other characters in play.
Well, and because Gareth was really, it's in the flashback, he's into Cindy.
Yes, but Leon even mentioned, though, was it Leon mentioned that Gareth had a girlfriend, but it didn't end well or something. He said something about not liking Cindy Lou, and he was like,
I can't say too much because we're only on book one.
I know. So I'm looking forward, but I also and interesting on other players, because like there's Harvey, his ex-friend roommate guy that's on Killblaze, and there's Eugene, the mousy guy, which I have a feeling he has something to do with that note that Leon found in the locker room of like where Elise is, like her routes she takes and stuff. I'm wondering if he's like kind of watching her. And then the teacher, he's really nice, Titan. He's nice. And the principal, something's up with the principal. I'm wondering if the principal isn't keen.
Oh, the principal who had played like is like hardy ho, like on the microphone. And then there's do we have the therapist?
Yes.
In the mix in the book
Miss Knight something. Yeah.
Is she Nightshade?
Yeah, Nightshade. Yeah. So there's a lot of players that I think we still need to get to know a little bit too, to see what happens. But okay.
Are the have you been introduced to the Kiplings, right?
Yes, I love them.
I freaking love the Kiplings. They're just a hilarious trio.
Yes, they're very intriguing, and part of me is like, is there a short story or something with just them? Because
they're definitely involved in the series, and you'll never think of Cake the same, and that's not a spoiler, that's just something to look forward to.
Okay. No, I'm so excited. I'm so enthralled in this, and I got arcs that I need to read, and I don't want to read them because I want to
Nope.
continue
Just
reading this
read
series
this.
right now.
Just read this. So also, Ryder. We haven't talked about Ryder yet.
We haven't talked about Ryder or Dante yet. Yeah.
He's like instantly, don't you just love Ryder?
I love Ryder right away. Like it's his name, and then the second they make they meet, eye contact is hypnotizing her and like,
Yeah.
giving her the scene, and I'm like, what is this? I had to look up what he was because I'm like, what is this creature? I had to do the same thing with a harpy too. I forgot what a harpy was. Like,
and I think their version of harpy can be a little different, just like their version of basilisk is a little different. I really love how they have orders and elements, and I really, it's such an interesting world with the zodiac and their star sign. It's very cool, this world that they have created.
okay, let's go back to the zodiac and star signs. Like, can someone please make an app, and maybe there is one out there that's like those. Like, I'm not, I like reading horoscopes, but I don't read too much into them. But like, how fun. I love reading the horoscopes every morning.
A lot of people have said that is a common thing that people are like, they need to make that a thing.
They need to make that a thing. Somebody needs to make that.
And the thing is, I think that the ones that they get are more catered. It's not just like not every Libra is getting the same one. I think that they're like, because there's moons and what time you were born and all that. So I think it's all very catered to them in that world.
Yes, and I love that. Yeah, and that's how it should be. That's how your horoscope should be. If you get, anyways. But I was just thinking that I was reading it, and like, I was like, gosh, this would be like just fun to have that in the morning. Good morning, Pisces. This is what you need to watch out for. And hey, like, open your heart to love. Like,
and it really does speak to what's happening in the book. Pay attention to those things because they're cluing you in to what's going on and what's going to happen. So it's very smart. It's very smart the way that they do that.
Their brains, I would love to pick apart their brains and how they're writing and how they plan this out. And if it's like seat of your pants, let's just see where this goes. It can't be though, because there's so many things embedded in here that I just don't think you can just do that.
So what they have said is, like, when they first wrote Zodiac Academy, they kind of sat down and talked about the world and like the orders and stuff. But that the way that they plot is like before they go into it, they'll like plot out what's going to happen like every chapter of the book and like talk together, and then they'll write their characters. So one sister will write like like a couple characters, and the other sister will write the other couple characters, the POVs. And then they'll send it to each other and they'll write from there. So they said that, I think one of the reasons they said that they write so fast is because they want to see what happens next too, because they're reading each other's chapters, which I think is such a cool motivator. So I really love that.
Yeah, that's fun. That's so much fun. But yeah, Ryder, I love how like the pain and less thing. I love how he opened up on accident to Elise, and she helped him with the pain. And I just, that relationship, I read stuff in book 2, which I want to talk about. That relationship is just a really hard one because he's so set in his ways and so stuff, and he's a gang leader, and there's this rivalry between him and Dante's gang. So Dante's a dragon.
Yes, a dragon amongst a wolf pack. He was a dragon, so he's not like dragons in that world. He's kind of got a wolf mentality, a wolf pack mentality, which is very interesting.
It's very interesting. And how he likes to be with them, but then they know enough that like he also likes to be alone. So he'll like go flying with them while they like run around, and then he'll like take off to be like solitary because that's what he needs. And I love that for him, that he has that group, and you can tell that he enjoys being around people because he has a relationship with Leon where they pull pranks and they like play pitball together. And that's the thing that Elise brings up at one point during Pitbull is like, Dante is more than a gang leader. He also is like, you can see him being himself on like the pit field and with people. So he's more than that. But she was saying Ryder's just stuck being that leader. Like
Yeah,
Ryder doesn't get that.
I feel like Dante's gang is more of like he's the head of the familia, like it's a family,
Yeah.
and it's like, and he treats it as such. Where Ryder is more of a cutthroat, cold-blooded gang because Ryder's been through some stuff, and unfortunately, those two gangs have a terrible history together. Which I love in when you've got a reverse harem where you have characters that don't necessarily like each other to begin with. They're not all best friends. You know, Leon and Dante may be friends, but like Gabriel doesn't like anybody. And Ryder and Dante are huge enemies. Like they're the Romeo and Juliet of enemies, except they don't love each other.
Right.
So,
Well,
yeah, they're actual adversaries.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But what I love when they're all together too. So there's a scene in this book where Leon's trying to ask. So poor Ryder was going to ask Elise out to dinner, and he was like being such a like goof and was like, "Do you like dinner?" and like and stuff. And then Leon pulls up his chair, and Leon starts asking her out to the dance, and then like Gabriel walks up, and then Dante's there, and so like it was just so funny, like them talking to each other, and then the inner thoughts going on with everything. And I was just like, I love this group. I feel like this group is going to be amazing when they are together. It's just so, and also like Leon and Dante already in book one have like, Annalise have mentioned like, oh, I'm not one guy can keep me. She's mentioned a couple of like things like that. And the Leon and Dante have kind of alluded to the fact that they would be okay with like sharing somebody too.
Yeah.
So like I like that we're getting some of that. But yeah, Gabriel and Ryder, because also Dante and Ryder, like you have to pick one of us. You can't, if you pick him, you're dead to me, and vice versa. And that's not fair to her. And she's like, I'm picking nobody. Like I'm not this isn't my life. And yeah. It's just so again, it's such a good mix of like fun, and then there's the trauma of her brother, and then there's like the trauma of the guys, and it's just like this, like it goes all over the place, but like because it's so well balanced, it's like not like gutting you completely.
Yeah.
You know, like it's just and it's a fun world. It's so fun.
Fun world, yes. This is the series to read to have. I think it's to experience Solaria in the most fun way. Like this series is that for sure. It's I love Zodiac Academy. Zodiac Academy can be quite heartbreaking. This series has its definitely can be heartbreaking too, but it's the fun one. It's like it's an easier read, I would say.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. Well, it's just it's really fun, but it still has those darker themes to it.
Oh yeah.
That so you're still getting those things that make it a well-rounded story. It's just not tearing you apart.
Yeah.
Because I mean, Megan knows this. I'm in Zodiac Academy and something good happened, and I know that some bad's going to happen, and so I stopped reading after the good happened because I was scared of the bad. So I need to, and then I realized, because I thought I was like 50% into that book, I'm only 30% into that book.
Oh, and that's book 3. Okay, see, and you're gonna once you're on book 4, you're gonna get so sucked into. I said this to you before. I think sometimes with series, you need breaks from them.
I do. I'm a breaker.
I'm very curious to see if you will have to take a break from the series. I feel like you might get so addicted to this one that you won't. I think you might go straight through it. We'll see.
Well, we'll see. I mean, it's just those arcs that came in. If I didn't have due dates on those, but a part of me is like, well, I have 5 days until after the book's out that I have to post a review. So those might wait a little bit because, I don't know. I either really enjoyed this book where I was able to get through it fast, or they're shorter than Zodiac.
They get longer. I'll tell you that. I'm looking. From here, I can see Warrior Fae, which is the last one. It is the biggest book I think I have on my shelf.
Oh, okay. That's good.
Yeah, it is good. It is very good. Book 3 is like 3 books. I mean, book 5 is like 3 books. So, yeah.
I'm very curious because I was texting Megan when I first started, and I was like, who's going to be in this? Like, because I didn't know if Leon was going to be in it, and then Gabriel gave me the vibes that and I was like so worried that Gabriel's not going to.
They have a POV Sarah doesn't mean they're going to be in it. That's all I'll say to you.
I know, but I mean, there's got to be at least 3 of them, right? So who's out if there's somebody out. But I'm gonna say that they have to work for it, but it's gonna end up being all four.
I'm not gonna
Ugh.
say.
And she won't, and it's gonna kill me.
Well, I'll tell you, Caroline and Suzanne, they'll give POVs to other characters sometimes, like I will say that somebody's cousin gets a POV in this series at one point. In different series,
I think
like
a Kipling, does a Kipling get one? I think I saw that.
Maybe a bonus. I'm not sure, but I will say, I mean, in the villains too, the villains are notorious in their series for getting POVs.
I think that's important. I think it's really important to. It makes it, because you get that POV. How else is to simplify it? You get that other side. So like you can either see somebody else's perspective or their intentions or the reasoning why.
Yeah. And like you can see in like Zodiac Academy, especially as you go on, like how all these characters, Geraldine gets POV, like everybody,
Yeah.
So that's all I'll say to you on that front. That maybe things will take a twist into a place you won't think. Maybe it'll go where you think. I don't know. I won't say. I'll say that you can read the bottom, and if it says it's the reverse harem, it's the reverse harem.
Yeah. I don't think did I read that?
That's what I don't know. Is it a reverse
now I'm gonna be getting over it because I'm assuming, and you know what that means. So like, oh my gosh, I sound like a professional lady. But yeah. But I'm loving it. And right now, Ryder is my top guy. I don't know though, because Dante's done a few things I really love. I'm really upset with Gabriel, but I'm rooting for Gabriel at the end. And Leon, I just love, and I could curl up with Leon anytime and take a cat nap. Like,
right, yeah.
And I kind of want to be like, can you just purr for me? I just want to hear him purr. Like, just do a little purr.
Just purr. I feel like you'd be great too. You should look at some of the fan castings for Leon. It's some very beautiful long-haired men.
Yes, somebody actually today on Facebook, which no one knows what today is, but posted a Leon, and that guy was gorgeous. And I'm not one to like long hair on men, but he was like surfer, but not dirty surfer, like a nice like beach waved hair, beautiful eyes, like golden skin. And I was like, yeah, I could see that. So that's my question though. I'm kind of confused on their age, and I don't know if it's because like the sisters are like in the UK or not, because like they're counting, like she was in high school, but then she's in the academy. But I thought Zodiac Academy was more like college level, but they talk about competing them, and then she says she's like 18. So
what happens is they don't get awakened until they're older. Their orders will come out, but they get awakened until they're early. So when they're in high school, they don't have their powers yet, and college is where they learn their powers.
Okay.
So she transferred, I believe, from they're in their I can't remember. She's not a year behind them, I don't think. I think she transferred. No, because Gareth, I think she's a year younger than them, I think, because Gareth was a year older.
Right.
I believe. But yes, so what happens is it's the high school. You go to high school, and then you go to an academy if you're like fortunate enough. And this academy is like the chief, the gangland academy, the lower level, where Zodiac Academy is like the elite academy. This is like the gangland, like,
so it's like upperclassmen of high school into college for the US, because like
it would be US college. It's US college,
but it's considered high school there.
So it's considered college there. So it's 18 and up. So they go to high school, and then you either go to a job or you go to an academy to learn.
Okay, because like I was just so confused because she was talking about being at high school and then transferring, and I was like, okay, so
she was at high school and then she went to the academy. So the high school's different. So that's after you. Yeah, I know, because it's also addressed in Zodiac Academy because the twins are 18 and then they go to Zodiac Academy. So that the academies there are college.
Okay. Thank you. Because I was reading it, I'm like,
woken until they're 18. Yeah. So they have to go to an academy to learn their magic when their magic gets awoken when they're 18. However, not really a spoiler, the heirs in Zodiac Academy, they get there because the heirs get their magic awoken like a couple of years before everybody else.
Well, didn't it? One of the guys said something. One of the four mentioned that their powers.
So it might have been like Ryder.
I think it was Ryder.
Emerged early. That's not
that's different.
The magic. Your order can emerge early. So your order will you may turn into a wolf or a dragon at like 13 or something. Right. And Ryder's emerged
early. Because Dante took a while because Dante's friends all emerged into wolves before him. He was late.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like you'll meet later on. You're gonna meet like it's not a spoiler. You're gonna meet like Dante's cousin who doesn't have magic, but she is a wolf.
Okay.
So yeah.
Is she the second in command? The second command that's around Dante?
For Dante?
Mm-hmm. Dante has a second in command that that's a girl. That's his cousin. We've been introduced to her, but we haven't really gotten a lot from her.
She's a
and then like because Ryder's second in command is a vampire, and we're like suspicious of him because he's already like kind of like questioned him.
And also I know Dante has an uncle.
Yes.
That is taking
this
a lot of liberties.
Yes.
I want to be careful with what I say about Dante because I'm not sure. Okay. I'm just going to be careful. I could answer it with what I know, but yeah.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine. It's totally fine. I understand. So for our listeners, we are going to follow this. I don't know what book we'll probably book clump it because this is a 5-book series.
Yes. Yay.
So we'll probably do 2 or 3 next time and then whatever to finish up or something. We'll figure out something and do it like a now and then thing and then move on. Yeah.
And then hopefully we'll do the same with Zodiac.
Yeah. Yes, that's the plan. Just gonna go on through it all. Yeah. Okay. Yay. Okay.
All right.
I loved it.
Yes. Hair of the book.
Oh gosh. I went right on to the next book, which is Savage Fae. So that's my hair of the book. I just kept on feeding that book over.
and I was when I like first read all Dark Fae. I was Zodiac Academy. It was before it was all out. So I was bouncing with Zodiac Academy and then Darkmoor. So just basically all of the Solaria worlds.
Okay.
Amazing. So yeah you got you also have Darkmoor Penitentiary. That's a good one too.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Okay. That's a lot. There's a lot.
Yeah. That takes place 10 years after this series and 5 years after Zodiac. But that is more closely related to this series. You've got you'll meet some side characters in this that will be the main characters in Darkmoor.
Ooh,
I know you like your side
characters. I love my side characters. I haven't fallen in love with any of the side characters besides I'm interested in Titan, the teacher.
They haven't all been introduced yet. Who'd you say you're interested in?
The teacher, Titan, the potions teacher. I like him. Mm-hmm. I hope I still like him. At the end, I don't know. I like him the most, but that's and Lonnie, her like other roommate who's like semi-friend.
Yeah, the Sphinx. Mm-hmm.
I don't know if she hasn't like spoke to me as someone I would need her story. She's just there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's a Sphinx friend. Yeah.
Go read a book. That's her. I guess that's all of us. I don't know. Do you, when you read these, do you kind of think of, sorry, everyone, like what order you would be? Because like I'm looking and I'm like, I don't think I'm a Pegasus. Like I think I'd be like another rainbow. Let's go. The glitter would drive me up the wall, I think.
Did they have quizzes? But I don't know how accurate they are.
Yeah, I don't know what I would
identify as. Like
part of me wants to be like a siren. Because that seems cool. Vampire seems like a lot of work because you gotta find a source.
Yeah, I feel like because I like solitude, I would get they'd say I'm a vampire, but I don't want to be a vampire.
Right. Yeah. Like I
Yeah.
like to be alone too, but I don't mind now and then socializing with people. So
Same.
I'm trying to think. Like I don't think I would want to be any of those like half and halves, like a harpy or anything like that. Like I would want to be fully into something or not. Like I don't I don't know. I think being a Simon would be fun just to like make people feel, to feed off of feel and make them feel stuff. I think that would just be fun to toy with people.
I love this answer.
Just, you know, like I'm bored. I'm just gonna send this emotion over to you. I don't know. But
oh, I love that.
I don't know.
Well, I gotta send you the quiz and see what the quiz says that you are.
Yeah.
I'm very curious.
Okay. Well, look, is that on their
I am.
Is it on their Facebook page, their quiz?
Yeah.
I'll try to find it.
Like look in the files, pinned files, or even just like search in the search bar.
Okay. I'll look for it. We'll include it too in the links.
Yes. Oh, that's a great idea.
Wants to see what their order is.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Thanks everyone.
For listening, everybody.
Yeah. Enjoy it. Read it. Okay. All right.
Bye, guys.
Bye.